All right, back again. Let's see. Today, we're tackling just one. It might take a little while. So the question today is, I've completed a project. This is a film project. I put a lot of time into it. It's a feature length. I shopped it around, and I've gotten no distribution set up for it. What do I do now? Do I start working on my next? But I'm a little discouraged because I haven't figured out what to do with when I finish a project. So this is a good question because times are changing right now. Times are changing. It used to be that you could make something, and if you took the liberty to make it, somebody would find distribution for it and produce it, and maybe you can make a couple $100,000 or some sort of money to make your money back. The way it is right now, people are only buying things from people that have reputations of things that sell. Any type of product that goes for the networks and the record labels. They're only betting on track records right now. And so that's one thing. You have a track record. Two, right now, everybody is pretty much only messing with people that have produced something on their own first, and it's gotten some sort of attention. Then that's another way that new ways are signing people. But right now, to come out left field and just drop something and to expect to be compensated for it doesn't happen that way anymore. So, to answer your question and to give you an outline, right now, back in the day, a little bit of rap history, we had people like Too Short, Master P, in the 80s, early 90s. And they were part of the independent music movement where they could sell 10,000 albums in a year at $10 a pop, just out of the trunk of their car, just hustling. Just on having a sound system in their car, slapping the music and going around and actually meeting people. That was then. That was pre-YouTube, pre-everything, and they weren't even making CDs, they were doing these with tapes. But it was that mindset that I'm not waiting for Death Row to come get me. I'm not waiting for Universal to come get me and put me on MTV or give me a high-budget music video. I'm making this stuff on my own. I'm owning all my masters, and I'm slinging them in the streets. Now, today, people aren't buying DVDs out of the trunks of people's cars as much as they used to. There's not really a huge bootleg industry right now because so many people are streaming. But you have to have that same mindset that if you're going to do something on your own, don't do it on your own expecting somebody to save you. Do it on your own with a plan to push it on your own too. Now, that could be selling it, nobody's picked it up, you still own the rights, put it on iTunes, run a marketing campaign, get a dope trailer done for it, and see if you can get any sales. At least you're trying something. I don't know if that'll warrant a lot of sales, but you're trying something. Because right now, what people want is they want something from people that have fan bases. So you spent a lot of time on this project, but did you get fans in between in the mix before it came out? That's an important question. That's what those rappers were doing back then. They weren't only just selling tapes and actually having money to be made, but they were actually connecting with people so that when they did have another one that's at another level, people were already used to it, and they were excited to see progress. So you need to be in that stage now where people need to see your work, see your journey, so that they can be excited for your next project. And I wouldn't worry about your next project right now until you get that step done, until you get that hustle. And because like things, if you wanted to make money, yes, you could put it on iTunes, you could put it on Amazon. But I really don't think that there's any point of putting things on those platforms unless you have over 100,000 followers that at least 1% to 10% would be interested in clicking through onto something, because just it being on Amazon alone doesn't garner sales or views or streams or purchases. Or iTunes alone, same thing. You're just in the catalog and they're making it accessible for you. But the thing I'm at now is I'm like, well then why do I have to put it on iTunes? Why's it gotta be Amazon? Are they giving me the best cut? You know, is that the best bang for my buck? Right now, I really like Patreon. I'd like to release more stuff. I wish Patreon had more things that you could upload, but right now, the fact that they have a video hosting is enough for me to experiment with releasing series through Patreon exclusively. So it's just a little interesting, and you know, if you're not, that's how I would do it if I was to make money. I'm more of a fan of the subscription thing. I'd rather get 3,000 people to put in $3 a month than try to sell one thing for $1 to 30,000 different people, or 90,000 different people. You know what I mean? I want to cultivate like a smaller fan base that's really self-sustaining and progressive, and we're all kind of moving this vehicle forward together, which is kind of my new motto on Patreon. But I love Patreon for that. But like, that's how I would do it if I was trying to charge. And if I had 100,000 followers, then I would think about maybe putting $800 to get my thing on Amazon or iTunes and seeing how the numbers do from there. But if I'm not really sure on the distribution, rather than sitting on your completed project and nobody ever seeing it, I think the least you could do is throw it on YouTube and run a couple Facebook ads and Instagram ads promoting it on YouTube. Click here to view, you know? That way, you can get some context, you can get people that are interested in it, you can go out and talk about it to people and show them and link them, and that might get you the conversation into the next group of fans that you might need, or into that, just having that buzz for people that will be interested in pushing your next project so that you could get picked up. It's great that you have already taken meetings, but continue forward, drop it, and then get ready for the next meeting with the same people. Because that's what people respond to that have resources to help. They don't want to go to a well. And what I mean by that is they don't want to just put their bucket in a well and then once the well's empty, that's it. They want to put it in. They want to take something from a system, so once they take it and they come back, there's still more growing there. So, you know, if I sold a movie right now and I've got like 7 or 8 in my back of my mind, you could take that one, develop it, but by the time that comes out and you've got that and you know that I'm this kind of person, I might have 12 or 13 by the time that you come back for more. And maybe I've had some time to push some of my independent works that I can garner a little bit of a higher price, plus this one that you just released, that's actually worth what I'm valuing at, you know? And, you know, have about 3 in the chamber, you know, of everything. And learn from the releases. Don't sit on it. Don't feel that you're rejected because nobody wanted to give you money to push it. This is the wild, wild west of promoting right now. There's so many different avenues and ways that we could be promoting our art and our works and our content through streaming, through things like Patreon, through YouTube, that the options are limitless. So we've got to be more creative now, and we don't have to actually be in the trunk of our cars selling stuff and meeting people on the streets. Although it was actually easier, if you ask me, to go face to face and do that. I used to be in the malls handing out CDs, and I'd make $20 or something, and like, yeah, that was a cool day. I made money just off of something I did. But right now, you have everybody's attention on their phones, so you can be able to be just as effective if you have a creative way to reach a lot of people, and you don't have to have the product anymore. Most of our products nowadays are digital. My buddy, he's a personal trainer, and he just dropped a fitness app, and it just spread like a wildfire. Like, he had no clue that so many people wanted to work out with him but weren't in his town. But when he downloaded the app, it was like everybody was working with him, you know? So that's what it is, you know? Like, there may be people that want to see your thing that don't have Netflix or Amazon, but once you figure out the creative way to market it to your fan base, you're going to see who was waiting for it. And just keep building that fan base, keep meeting people, keep doing about your art, and keep trying new things. Try smaller projects, you know? Don't run yourself tired trying to do 5 feature films in your life in a 10-year span. You know, you don't need to do a bunch of feature films. You should just create stories and keep telling them. Of course, yeah, if you're a hired director and that's your job to just keep directing stuff, that's one thing. But to be an executive producer, creator, writer, you really have all of these universes that you just need a few to really be running right once you learn the whole ins and outs, and it'll be a profitable system for you to make your next moves and to, you know, adjust your goals. So that's our question for the day. Like, subscribe. Any questions, email 24creative@gmail down below. Like I said, we've got the exclusive Patreon. Check there. We will have the first draft to a short story that I'm releasing sometime within the next day or two. So a lot of fun things coming up. Stay tuned.